We're at Bushranger Australia, an Australian family-owned outdoor power equipment company who have everything from 36 to 48 to 82 volt plus entire petrol range, ride-on mowers, you name it, they've got it. I'm here with Paul.
Luke.
And he's going to show me through the entire range. Let's get into it. I'll start with this. This is the 82 volt range. Some keen eye enthusiasts will notice that this is very similar to some other brands out there. Some small population got a bit grumpy at that, but it's quite interesting because if I understand correctly, the manufacturer who's making these make 5 other brands, commercial brands of battery gear. People just unaware.
That'd be right, yeah. And look, there's a certain number of manufacturers of battery stuff worldwide that bring out state-of-the-art, top-of-the-range product. Us as a family-owned business, we want to bring our dealers and the customers the best product we possibly can, backed by, as you said earlier, Australian-owned, family-owned business. So we're essentially bringing to the market what we believe gives our dealer and our customer the right product.
So this is part of the range. There's more than this, I'm assuming.
There is.
I've seen some stuff out there, but essentially you've got everything that you need to run a business. And you've actually made some changes. So I'm looking at this mower. I know it's not ready yet. I'm very excited because when I was visiting with Ben, people who watch all the episodes, he showed me the 4 swing back blade option on the bottom of this. We don't have that on now.
No.
Do you know when it's coming out?
That's up to the... So everything we bring out is tested absolutely to the nth degree before we release it. So we make sure it's going to stand up to expectations of our customers. So watch this space.
But the Australian business, then you start doing this because harder cut. And that's what Ben was saying on there, because a lot of us would want to cut low.
So we're essentially making sure that it's absolutely right before it's released. It's not just rushed to the market because everyone's saying we need it. We're saying, hang on, let's make 100% sure that it's absolutely bang on.
Quick adjust, I like that.
So also stand up, as you know, stand up vertical for space saving.
Yeah, exactly. Contractors putting in a tray with a bunch of other mowers, and you end up having the biggest tray in the world if you want to fit everything you want on there. What other tools in this 82 volt range are you really excited about?
Look, what we've currently got, well, obviously not here, there's a few more products that we're missing that I haven't brought here. I've used most of it. I'm very, very impressed with most of it. I've used a lot of other brands just to compare and contrast. My staff are doing the same thing. So I think the chainsaws, the blowers, I'm loving the 21 inch self-propelled. Space for 2 batteries, both 2 amp, 8 amp hour batteries, runtime of up to an hour or a bit over an hour depending on conditions. So I think it's all, like I said, fit for purpose, the right product and backed by us. So
the range is enormous because you then go down, we'll get to this in a second, but you can see the petrol stuff behind us.
Correct.
You've got the 36, 48. How are you finding this comparing to the petrol mowers that you put out there? Because this is one of the things that happens is people who, a lot of brands will sell one, they'll go battery or they'll go petrol, and they all say, oh, this is, the petrol's better, the battery's better, you do them both. How would you rate this against the similar price point mowers?
Look, the petrol market is still by far the dominant market in walk-behind mowers or self-propelled mowers, commercial. These are certainly gaining traction. So we've only had it probably since August, so we haven't had it for a long time, but the uptake has been very positive. But we're still seeing, there's still a lot of people that run with petrol because they want that longer run time. They're cutting lawns for 4, 5, 6 hours of a day, and just the ease of petrol at this stage is what's helping. But certainly for build quality, backup support, and obviously upgrades that we're bringing to the market, I think they'll soon find a spot in the market.
I think one of the most underrated things out going around is battery chainsaws. Because a lot of people, now if you're logging and this is your full-time job, well, maybe you don't get the runtime like we talk about. But what people don't realise is the torque on the battery machines is so high, and if you are cutting down a tree, you actually don't do, I'm talking a reasonable sized tree, an enormous one you might, but normal, trees, say 3-4 metre tree, you don't do that many cuts. And so a lot of gardeners, this is like super underrated in their arsenal because you don't have to start it all the time. There's a lot of power. How are you finding this compared to some of the petrol versions that you've got?
I'm blown away with the efficiency of that. Just the speed, the speed it cuts is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
325 chain, nice skinny chain, so it cuts very quickly. Like you said, if you're out there cutting firewood for a living or dropping down big trees as a logger, you're probably still going to run with a petrol chainsaw.
Which you still have.
Correct. But for, like you said, for early morning jobs, gold.
If you had a choice, so for you right now, you have a choice, which one would you pick?
I live on a bit of a farm.
Yeah.
I do have a fire. I pretty much use either this one or the one you've got in your hand for cutting pretty much all my firewood.
How do you find the 36? Well, we should talk about the range.
Oh, look, value for money, wow.
Yeah.
Like just, that's all I ran with for about a year and a half. Now I'd probably go through 3 or 4 batteries, but just the ease, and I can put it down, get another log up, don't have to start it, it's not idling, there's no noise, away I go. So very handy.
Let's get a battery and put it in.
Safety first. Probably tighten that chain up at some stage before we use it.
It is a little bit.
But that's okay.
It is scary, the fact that, I've said this so many times, but when you have an engine running and you know it's dangerous, the fact it's just silent. Do you know what I mean?
Relatively, yes.
If you had an intruder coming in your house, I would go petrol. Because you would actually have to use the blade, do you know what I mean? Just the fact you have a chainsaw.
But have you got time to prime it and get it going?
True, actually. Okay, self-defense classes are ending now because we're going to get some legal problems with all these things.
Cool. Might edit that, but we'll see how we go.
That's staying in. All right, so now on to the 48 volt range. We do not have the time to go through everything into detail.
All right.
But what is this market, or who is these tools made for?
Pretty much every domestic, large property, not commercial, but certainly your property for your own maintenance of your own yard, everything in the range is there ready for you to go.
The question people are going to ask is like, how do these perform compared to petrol? My experience is blowers, chainsaws, hedge trimmers. I don't even know why anyone would consider petrol unless, again, you've got the runtime issue, but you've called a homeowner. But what about the mower? What about the line trimmer?
Look, as far as domestic goes, you know, your run times are right up there. You're talking, 60 minutes, 30 minutes for a lot of the gear. Hedge trimmers up to 2 hours for hedge trimming. Now, not many yards are going to be using their tools for a couple of hours over a weekend.
Especially like the blocks getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Correct. So for ease, so no fuel, no 2-stroke, no 4-stroke, it's just plug it in and ready for the battery to go, and let's use it. So the noise is not there, so you can mow, you can blow, you can hedge trim any time of the day, any time of the night you like, without annoying your neighbours. That comes with many attachments and the extension in the middle.
This is if you're going for value for money, which is what we're going to talk about in a second. So the battery goes in the back.
Correct.
And this is an extension pole, people. So this is where it would normally connect. But line trimmer, what else?
Line trimmer, edger, hedge trimmer, and pole saw attachment for this little unit.
So which would be everything that someone would need.
Pretty much do everything, and one of these and a blower, and you're set.
You're done. Now, if someone's starting out in business, would this be all right to start with, just from a price point standpoint?
If you're starting your own business, spend once, spend right.
Right.
If it's professional, go professional. That's my opinion. You go and spend $1,000 here or $2,000 over there, well, $1,000 here, within 12 months, hopefully your business is skyrocketing, and you're going to go and spend another $2,000 to get the top end. So you might as well go straight to what you need.
I think one of the things that we're going to keep saying this over and over again, when you talk residentially, money does count. But if you talk commercially, it's all about return on investment. Because if you take a machine that is not that powerful, the job takes you longer. If the job takes you longer, you're not earning as much per hour. You could charge someone $500 for a job that takes you far less, fit in more work. And a lot of people who start a business, they get caught in that same mindset, which is true when you're running your home gear. You want to get your value for money. And it hurts them in the long run because...
It's the same when they're buying a rider mower, and I know we'll talk about mowers later on, but I still talk to contractors out there starting up. Well, they charge you by the hour. I mean, you buy a really good mower and you cut your mowing time for that particular block down to an hour instead of 3 hours, you've just done yourself out of 2 hours of
money
funding.
Yeah.
So you charge by the job and you get the best possible unit you can possibly get to do it as quick as you can and most efficiently as you can. And you double your work, you double your income.
I've had the opposite happen as well. I was chatting to an older guy who was using a pretty old style mower. So why are you still using that? He goes, well, if I get a faster machine, I'm going to earn half as much money. I was like, okay. I just moved on.
He's obviously charging by the hour.
Exactly.
Maybe you should be using a pair of scissors to cut the grass.
Done. Now you've also got this little chainsaw in addition to the other ones. Now this comes with the whole kit.
Yep.
What did you say the price was?
$2.99. So
now you tell me this is intense.
It is. So if you've got logs arm thickness, then no worries at all. It'll just slice through it.
Now, is this oil here?
No.
Okay.
No.
So do I need to oil it manually?
One I prepared earlier. Squirt a bit of that on the bar.
Right.
On the
How
chain.
often do I need to do that?
Look, I'd be doing it probably once every charge. So that's going to run, now for some of that, probably takes you a couple of seconds every cut. The battery will last up to about 10 minutes of cutting. So I'd be saying every time you have to go and recharge your battery, I'd be re-oiling the bar.
Does it come with multiple batteries?
The 2 amp hour battery,
Yep.
48 volt, with a charger, battery, bag, oil, the kit, $2.99.
So my question is, can I sink this all the way into wood? Because a lot of people who are using these kind of machines, they obviously homeowner sort of style. If you have a big farm, you probably don't need something else. But every now and then they're going to go, oh, I need to cut something a little bit bigger. Can I make it with multiple passes coming from different angles?
You can do it if you like.
Give it a try. Let's run quickly through this because I want to get into petrol in a second. But the 36 volt range, has this been out for a while? Or is this all brand new?
This has been with us for 5 or 6 years.
Because all this stuff here, we didn't touch on this before, but this is brand new.
Brand new to us, absolutely.
I
since
was at the
August.
launch. Yeah, I was at the launch event in August, and this wasn't even in dealerships then. And what are we, November now? So a couple of months.
Yep.
This stuff. Now, you told me that this line trimmer is incredibly underrated.
Yeah.
I've heard that from a contractor too.
Yep.
And he was telling me, even though it's rated as domestic,
Yep.
he was saying this thing is not getting talked about enough.
Just the balance, battery at one end, motor at the other end, the power, it performs exceptionally well, and runtime, off the top of my head I can't quite remember, sorry, but runtime on that is fantastic. So I was using it yesterday and was wowed at how light and how well it performed. The rest of the gear, like I said, I've been using that for ages, cutting firewood for myself. Yes, not a lot, and yes, I've got several batteries to make sure it runs. I've got one of these, which my wife always steals because she loves it. Haven't had a lot of use with a hedge trimmer, don't have many hedges, but very user-friendly range. And you've also got the multi-tool in a domestic. So same as we were talking about before in the 48 volt, but you've got the multi-tool in the 36 volt, line trimmer, edger, pulse saw and hedge trimmer. So once again, it's a very complete setup with a 36 volt range.
So a natural question would be, if someone's invested into 36 and want to upgrade to 48, will the attachments on this fit on the 48 volt system?
Okay, it'll only fit the 36 volt range, but the other good thing about all the attachments, it'll also fit our 2-stroke domestic and 4-stroke domestic line trimmer or multi-tool. Right. So it can fit 3 different power plants.
Okay, so when we're going into this range?
Correct.
So you could alternate between the two?
Yes.
Right, awesome.
Yep.
So what's the biggest selling point or the biggest advantage of this petrol gear compared to the other petrol brands out there?
Look, the commercial range, it's a Japanese built. We've obviously, once again, we do all the testing, we make sure it's right for our conditions. So the support from our dealers, the support from Gripsky's, the Bushranger company, I guess the ease of, at the moment, tip some fuel into it and go. So there's no downtime. You refuel it, have a break, have a drink and get back into it. So it's, at the moment, there's still a huge focus for us on our commercial range and even domestic range of line trimmers in the petrol range. I think for the when you've got a lot of work to do and their expectations are, well, I'm on a line trimmer for 3-4 hours in a day. I don't want to be changing batteries every half an hour. They just want to go. So this gives them that option. There's plenty of torque. We've got a variety of engine sizes from 23cc up to 45cc in a loop handle and up to 50cc in the bull handles. So we've got a huge option and a range in that space.
And these ones here, you've got the L231, L261 and L301. What applications are these different models made for?
Essentially, they're all commercial, and a lot of it is now weight-based, kilowatts, performance. So as you obviously go up in the range, higher CC, so the naming L231, 23cc, 26cc, 30cc, so we're upping the power of the unit.
Yeah.
And there's also a slight increase in weight. So that's the application. They're all commercial. So if you're a landowner and you want something that's got more grunt and you're going to use it for a lot longer than, say, a suburban backyard, then they're the options for you as well.
So what have we got here?
This is the KG XD Spartan stand-on,
Yep.
54-inch deck, V-twin quacker on the front, 801 volt V-twin, built like a tank.
Absolutely. So these are Spartan made, rebranded, Bushranger imported in here.
Yep.
Spartan's got a really good reputation for the build quality.
Yeah.
And then the price point as well, mashed on top of that. What are we looking at here feature-wise that you're not getting on other mowers?
Look, build quality is one thing, which you can see the strength of the build. The 7-gauge deck, which is standard on all Spartans, doesn't matter whether it's sit down or stand on. You've got your twin fuel tanks on this, foot assister in the deck height.
Let me show you that, because that's usually you got a big lever here you got to pull. So I'll get Ethan to come film this over this side in a second, but you can just see. That's pretty simple.
Yeah, yep. So the other features on this, you've obviously got the keypad, which is a unique code to punch in for starting it yourself.
So you don't need a key.
Don't need a key. So
Right.
and you can program that so it's a unique number for you. So for someone to come and steal it, they've either got to read your brain or be very, very lucky with a PIN code. Electric PTO, which is your standard stop-start. It'll record your mow time as opposed to the motor running time.
Right.
So it can efficiency on how you're mowing. It'll send up reminders like most hour meters, oil change, all the rest of that information. The important things, you've got a couple of beverage holders.
Yeah, 3.
Okay, 3.
That's okay. That's 2 more than most. That's more than I have in the hire car I have, right? And that has been a point of disappointment on this trip. I'll be honest.
Okay.
Not enough Pepsi Maxes fitting in that car.
Very
but
good.
3 actual cup holders. Oh, USB charger.
12-volt charger.
Nice.
Yep.
It's pretty packed with features. So if you've been paying attention, you can see the massive number of mowers here. There's a huge range. We don't actually have enough time to go through every single mower like we did with the other stuff. But Bushranger, I mean, because this is your warehouse, this is where everything's coming out from, right?
This is one of 6
across the country.
across the country.
And we did a full video with Ben on the spare parts and everything up in Queensland.
Yep.
But the spare parts is a huge part of the business.
Yeah. I think Gripski's, that's what we do. We're known for the last 40, 50 years, is supplying the dealer network with their parts and getting them to them on time quickly. So the reason why we have 6 is to support every state with their parts. And one thing that makes a mower the right mower to buy is not just the build quality and supporting an Australian-owned, family-owned business, but when it goes down, the speed you can get it back up and running. And I think that's one thing that Gripski's do, in spades.
Yeah. How many of the mowers are on that in this range?
There are 8 families in the Bushranger Spartan range, and in that you have 3 to 4 deck sizes in each model.
So odds are you're going to find something that's probably going to suit you.
From domestic, commercial, and anything in between.
Yeah. I asked you off air because I wanted an honest answer, but what you said was quite interesting because I asked you what's it actually like working for this company, and you said
it's like working for a family. It's like they care. It's a business that actually do care about its staff, and they find that it's important that if you're happy at home, you're happy at work. So they care about not just numbers, They care about you as a person.
Not a corporate feel.
Not a corporate feel. Still chasing the business, still trying to make a difference, but very much about the person, about the relationship, about the integrity of what we do and how we do it.
I was at the Bushranger event. They had this with all the dealers and everything there, and Paul, the CEO, got on stage, and the thing that I kept coming across and what I felt from that was this deep care for the actual dealer network. And dealers are having a tough time because, especially with all this battery stuff, the economy's hard. A lot of people are going to other shops and just buying it there. But the dealer is a real needed person, especially for the contractor market. And that's what I got out of that talk, was not like, oh, we want to get more money, but it's actually, yes, the money side is important, but the dealer support was huge in what he was saying.
We're just another family-owned business, same as all of our dealers that sell our product. So we're just another one of them. Maybe a little bit slightly larger scale, but we're still a family-owned business. We understand that there's pressures, cost of living, interest rates, all of that sort of thing. We understand. So it's more about working with the dealer, understanding their trials, their tribulations, and trying to find the right way forward.
What stock do we have here? Before we get too sappy, let's get back to numbers.
Yeah. So essentially this is all just waiting for the orders to come in. We make sure we've got stock in all of our warehouses so we can get the product to where it's needed straight away. So we have a bit of rain like we've had here over the last couple of days. The orders start coming in, sales start happening. We can fulfill those orders, get the product out from one of our 6 warehouses.
If I just started to take one, would you notice?
No. Like Ben will notice.
He'll notice. The accountant will notice.
I won't.
In addition to everything we talked about, there is cylinder mowers as well, and a massive range. The Protea brand's been added to.
So there's 5 in the Protea Bushranger cylinder mowers. There's 2 in the Bushranger cylinder mowers, which are, I guess, similar to your Scott Bonner type machine, which we've had for years.
Yep.
Full range of rotary mowers, from domestic, utility mower, commercial, self-propelled, engine variations to suit.
And we could find most of them in boxes.
We can.
There are boxes out there. Sprayers.
Yep, backpack sprayers, not only manual but battery sprayers, which is new to us as well. What else have you got? UTVs.
Yep.
Bushranger UTVs.
Remote control.
Slope mowers, which will mow up to 50 degrees.
Do you have log splitter?
We have several log splitters with log lifts. What else do we have?
There's so many products, you've forgotten them all.
Yeah.
The point is that there is a huge range, and I guess the reason why people, or one of the biggest reasons why people would go down the Bushranger front, is because you are supporting a family business, it's Australian-owned family business, and you can get just about everything you need, if not everything you need.
Nearly a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
So you can run a business based on, we're supplying the business with almost everything they need in the outdoor power equipment field. And we're always looking for new products to bring to market that our dealers, our customers are asking us for. So we assess, we test, we bring to market.
And what I hear is that there is a real intent to make more in Australia. The challenge is making it financially viable.
Yep.
But if it is the case, I think you guys are going to do a little bit more if that's possible.
We are set, ready to go. We've got the facilities. Once again, we need the support. We need to find what product it is that we can manufacture and bring to market.
Yep.
So there's 1,000 things we could make, but they've also got to make it profitable, like anything.
Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Pleasure.
If you guys you want to find Bushranger, there's a lot of dealers. How many around the country do you know?
Over 250.
So there's someone near you. And again, you can go online, find all the stuff. You'll see the massive range there. But again, thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure.
Everybody else, we'll see you in the next episode.